Let me make a small presentation about the activities of the center. First of all, good morning, everybody. Good morning, IOC members, national consultant, coordinator, Mr. Iglesias, all colleagues. And allow me to thank you all for participating in this national meeting, which will open a new era of collaboration between IOC, UNESCO, and Lebanese research institutes and stakeholders. So, as you know, the National Center for Marine Sciences is a center of one of the centers of the National Council for Scientific Research. It was established in 1977. It is a recognized institute within the Mediterranean network of marine centers. Its mandates are to supervise permanently the coastal zone and the sea by creating a national network of observation, to evaluate the specific diversity by characterizing the migrant communities and their habitats, and to study the origin and destiny of continental inputs. It is located in Batroun and now in June. We have a platform, research platform, which is a research vessel named Kana CNRS. It is equipped with most of the oceanographic equipments. It is a donation from the Italian government, as well as we have a small catamaran also that we use in research. The National Center for Marine Sciences contains researchers, research assistants, technicians, administrators, and PhD students and master students that we rely on to do our research, as we have a small number of employees. I will start talking about the main activities of the center. I will not enumerate them, or I will talk briefly about each activity. We are doing the presence of a multi-beam echo sounder on the boat allowed us also to do hydrographic survey, and which allow us to draw maps to produce nautical charts, and also to use these maps to identify the habitats of fauna and flora in the marine important areas. Unfortunately, you will not be able to see the figures. I have a lot of figures. We study also the water, seawater surface, and we go through water column. We use many CTDs. We use Rosette, Niskin bottles, Rosette multi-bottle sampler, and we use many CTDs to study the variation of physico-chemical parameters through water columns and over the water surface. Here I have some graphs about the variation of thermocline and halocline through water column, which with these data will be used in studying not only the density of water, means the currents, but also the climate change and the variations, the small variations in temperature through time. We study also the eutrophication along the Lebanese coast by measuring the presence of nutrients like nitrates, phosphates, silicate, and also chlorophyll A. Now we will get our buoy, which will be a fixed station offshore of Beirut, June, and this will be a grant from donation from IUCN. And we will receive this buoy, which will allow us to monitor the different climatic and oceanographic parameters through time in the sea. We'll get it by the end of this year, hopefully. We are working also on, and this station, buoy station, will allow us also to study the climate change, like the variation in temperature and other parameters. And also, we are doing our research on seawater acidification. Our researcher, Dr. Abdelrahman, will talk about it later. In seawater also, we are monitoring the presence of microplastic by using different equipments, mainly the Mantanet, to identify the quantity and types of microplastics. And through our PhD students abroad, we are doing the identification by using Raman or FTIR methodology. The National Center for Marine Sciences is responsible for the monitoring program along the Lebanese coast that is implying it since more than 30 years. Every year we are producing a map showing the status of different beaches and places along the Lebanese coast. We reached until now 31 sites that we are monitoring every year, for bacteriology, for eutrophication, for chlorophyll A, and other parameters. For sediments, we are also working on sediments, as it is a memory of the marine environment, and we know very well that sediments reflect the status of the marine environment through time. So we are using sediment grabs, vamping grabs, sediment corers, sediment traps to take samples, and we are measuring the variation of organic matter in the sediments, the labile organic matter that we know, like carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, in sediments, which are nutrients for benthic feeder. Also, we are studying the level of contaminants in sediments like cadmium, mercury, lead, and hopefully we will get our atomic absorption, as we don't have atomic absorption, neither GC. We will get them soon if the economic situation will allow. We are studying also the distribution and the accumulation of microplastics in sediments in water, in the sea, on the sea bottom floor, or on the beaches, and the accumulation of marine litters. By the implementation of the National Monitoring Program for Pollution and Marine Litter in Lebanon, supported by IMAP, UNEP-MAP, and this is in close cooperation with the Ministry of Environment. As well as we are doing research on circulation, water circulation like currents. We are deploying drifters, floats, studying the surface currents or the central currents. Also, we have students in France. Our students in France, PhD students, that are doing their PhD also on mesoscale circulation, like the connectivity and dispersion in the Levanten basin, or studying the surface activity in the Eastern Mediterranean. All of this by using different models. Let's go now to the marine biodiversity. We are involved in studying the biodiversity from phytoplankton till megafauna till cetaceans. So as we know that the marine biodiversity is the life compartment of the large marine ecosystem. It is composed of indigenous, endemic, and invasive species. We are mapping the distribution and abundance of fauna and flora. We are monitoring the toxic species and their impact on the marine ecosystem. We are following the presence of invasive species, and we are defining the specific areas in order to propose marine protected area, and this is also in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment. We are studying the phytoplanktons, the bloom of phytoplanktons on the Lebanese beaches. We are studying also the invasive species or toxic species like the Ostreopsis. Also, we are going to the secondary production like zooplankton, from micro-zooplankton till macro-zooplankton like the jellyfish. And we know that now jellyfish are starting to appear since 2014 during winter. From January, they are started to invade our Lebanese sea. Also, we are studying the benthos, the benthic living organism, from the microbenthos till macroscopic or macro species. benthic animals, invasive animals, benthic species, macroalgae and microalgae, all of them, we are studying this kind of benthos in our center. Also, we have a lot of work on fish. Our researchers are trying to transfer, and this is the fish is study of fish are in direct collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and supported by FAO GFCM. We are trying to transfer new sustainable fishing methodology to fishermen to raise awareness among them and to increase their income by increasing the value and the quality of their capture. How? By helping the fishermen to target large fish species using selective gears, to target a new species that have a high economical values like shrimps, and to find a new fishing ground to target these high economical species. Also, we are trying to assess the stock of some species that have socio-economic values. We are studying the biological parameters for these fish and also for invasive species that we find toxic for our environment, like the Lagocephalus celeratus and the Pterius milis, Samictel asad, and the pufferfish and the lionfish. Just I will say that we are also working on the megafauna, mainly the cetaceans that we are the focal point of agrobam. Thank you.